if you joined us last time, you'll know that we're sorting out the believers, giving them what for. Let them rest. Send them forward. And building up the economy as I'm going. Whew. We've got ships on the prowl. In Operation Close Stable Door after horse is bolted.
Terraform complete.
Or maybe not, maybe I'm gloating a bit prematurely. But would you probably...
Request confirmation.
It's embarrassing.
Request confirmation.
Is anybody else waiting for some defence? Somebody over here? No, maybe it's time I built a few more bases then. You can see there's room for one down there. Sea base over there. Probably one over there. One amongst all them fungus. I need to rebuild that one over there. So that's 5 at least. Oh, I need to do something about the Gaians that was walking around. This one's a commando. You're not getting through that one. Make note of that. 8 to 2. Almost finished it off. It was touch and go. What kind of odds does this system work with? If you get anywhere near sort of even odds, you're bound to lose, more or less. To reload it like 7 or 8 times before you actually get a positive result. And yes, you can do that. You can save and reload and you get a different result. But that is cheating. And you can put a rule in place that locks it, so if you save it, you have to quit.
Request confirmation.
Isn't there anything cheaper?
Request confirmation.
No.
Request confirmation.
God, that's by half of my profit, that is. I wonder if they know this, they just accept the surrender. Actually no, I want to put a production. I'd be fairly safe living them with even all of this while I go all economic. Forest, kelp, kelp, forest, forest, kelp, forest, kelp, kelp, forest. I personally would have taken that city, but you know, it's not even a formal declaration of war, it's just an opportunistic zing.
Companions the Creator seeks, not corpses, not herds and believers.
Fellow creators the Creator seeks, those who write new values on new tablets. Companions the Creator seeks, and fellow harvesters, for everything about him is ripe for the harvest. Friedrich Nietzsche. Zarathustra. That quote in this game encouraged me to read Thus Spoke Zarathustra, because of the quotation. It's wonderful. It's a lovely quotation. Thus Spoke Zarathustra is, of course, a biblical parody of sorts. He liked writing in that kind of style. It's written in the style of a holy text, but one of the quotes from it, he's talking to an old man in the forest. The old holy man in the forest is walking away, And Zarathustra spoke, and said, did the old man not know that God was dead? So, yeah, and it sort of follows that through and talks about the Homo Superior, or the Übermensch. I know a little bit about Nietzsche. Very interesting fellow. Went mad, in Milan, and he saw a horse being whipped, and ran over and put his arms around it. And then he also had syphilis. I think that contributed to it. And very poor health throughout his life. And Bertrand Russell said this was the cause of his ideas were the power fantasies of an invalid. That's what Bertrand Russell says about him. So his idea about the Superman, the Übermensch, taking control, it was sort of the fantasies of a man who would never stand up in society, who would never be part of the society that he envisioned. And also he was a philologist, and got his idea of good from God, and said that it used to be that godlike people were good, and bad people were poor, and the multitude, and this got reversed over the course thanks to first Judaism, then Christianity, then democracy, then socialism, to try and level us all out and bring the Übermensch down to everybody else's level. But it's based on the fallacy because good doesn't come from God, etymologically. I don't know where it comes from, but his argument in that sense is wrong, and he was just an angry, bitter, ill man. Sad, really. Anyway, back to the game. I'm going to do these kind of biographies with every political philosopher that comes up. I've already mentioned Plato, I suppose, and Aristotle. Don't think anybody else gets mentioned. I don't know about Lao Tzu. He's more of a philosopher. I don't tend not to touch philosophy with a barge pole when I can help it. Nothing particularly much, but it's pretty obtuse stuff. Opaque, perhaps, rather than obtuse. Anyway, you get a nano hospital, which increases psych, labs, and reduces the number of drones by 1. Could be useful, pretty expensive though. And the universal translator will give you 2 free texts, like Darwin's Voyage from Civ 2, but any can cache in a number of alien artifacts in this base, which you couldn't do with Darwin's Voyage. And that leads to the will to power, which gives you dream twister and thought control. But that's following off Nietzschean thought and putting it into practice. And the idea that the world of the future is not a nice place. So on one of them, then you're going to spend a bit more time building a few more of those quantum foil supplies.
Production complete.
Cheaper and more hit points. They are just not happy.
Begun.
Wow.
Maximum population reached. Request
I want mind rooms. The Recreation Commons.
Golden Age.
I've learned my lessons from the the Spartan War. Wow.
Request confirmation.
No.
Maximum population reached.
Research hospital.
Production complete.
Network node. See, if you were to go for a real sort of specialisation, you'd have a few mineral heavy cities that would have a punishment sphere in. Because it halves text, but you have no happiness problems, so you can grow it to a huge size. Or if you're going to have a sort of specialist city, so you get a load of specialists on the go. So you don't have to worry about drones or anything like that. Actually, no, that's a bad idea, isn't it? Because it's 50% tech, so all the tech would get lost. Gene Jack factory. I'll build one of them so you can get the quote for it.
Production complete.
And also, they're like a robotics template plant, but cheaper. But it creates a drone. The Gene Jack, specifically. Yeah, because of that, monoliths are sort of second rate.
Drone riots.
Oh, Pericles.
Request confirmation.
Oversaw the downfall of the Athenian democracy.
Drone riots have ended. Drone riots.
But I don't really care. Important thing is you've got a thing in there, so not opportunistic stuff with Chairman Yang's trying to pull. Won't get anywhere. You need the Recreations Commons.
Production complete.
As do you.
Terraform complete.
Now, I'd quite like to build the cloning vats, but I daren't. My population would skyrocket, of course, but there'd be revolution. When you grow up in a world with so few people in it, overcrowding is a relative issue. So I remember reading about why people went west in the American 19th century in America, and they gave this case study of one fella. I can't remember what his name was now, but they saw from his house on the prairie, and looked out and could see in the distance the smoke from another house. It's right on the horizon, right over in the distance, and then he packed up and moved further west, citing overcrowding. He's got to come to England. Apparently, we're the sixth most crowded country in the world. Bangladesh being, of course, first by a long way. But says something at least.
Request confirmation.
Actually, no. I want you to build me not an impact squad, because that's well obsolete. Tachyon shock troops.
Request
And
confirmation.
damn the expenses, I'm not going to lose that after the fight I put up for it. Although everyone can move on to wherever it is, Great Conclave. I don't know why it told to stop there. I believe it was a ship. I thought the two formers would be together, being next to each other. Same types of units, same place. Well, no, I've just told a random unit to stop where it is. Fortunately, at this stage in the game, those kind of mistakes aren't fatal, just irritating. And again, at a talent level, no mistake is really game ruining. Well, it has to be a very major mistake before it got to the stage where you have to start again. Going to war too early with something like the Spartans and the Believers, as the Morganites or the University, perhaps would be a mistake, particularly if it was your idea to go to war. More than that, I can't imagine another situation. Right, the little terraformer that could. That's one of the books you can write if you get a low score. It's just for the past 100 years it's been whizzing around, putting down sensor arrays. Nobody's told it not to. Following its order to the letter. Isn't that nice? Yeah, even slow formers work quite well at fungus clearing now, because you don't have to. Because it acts like roads. You go in, you get 2/3 of your thing back, movement, and you can use that to carry on with your clearing of your fungus or building a road. And on that bombshell, actually I'm not ending like that, this isn't Top Gear and I'm not Jeremy Clarkson. So on that note, I'm going to draw the video to a close now, because I believe we're 14 minutes and 35 seconds in, 36. So join us again in the next video.